Hold on to your seats, folks, because this is going to blow your mind. Back in 2012, AdBlock dealt Google a massive $887 million blow, and by 2015, that number had skyrocketed to a staggering $6.6 billion. Fast forward to 2020, and AdBlock is now causing publishers to lose a jaw-dropping $35 billion in ad revenue every year. But guess what? Google doesn't seem to be breaking a sweat over this. In fact, they're even offering the most popular AdBlock through their very own Chrome web store, with an unbelievable 350 million downloads and hundreds of thousands of rave reviews. You might think that any sane ad business would have thrown in the towel by now, or at least made some efforts to render the ad blocking ineffective, right? Well, you're wrong. Despite the odds stacked against it, AdBlock still manages to hold its own against Google's army of engineers. But hold up, there's a twist. Enter the YouTube app and its ingenious design meetings. Trust when we say this, it's pure genius. Get ready for this mind-boggling revelation. No AdBlock can touch the ads on the YouTube app, but hold your horses, there's a loophole. On mobile devices, ditch the app and use the mobile browser with AdBlock instead. And here's the kicker. Google has not only failed to eradicate AdBlock, but they've actually been supporting it. Yes, you heard that right. Google pays AdBlock tens of millions of dollars every year to whitelist ads, which is how AdBlock stays afloat. But why would Google support something that eats into their revenue? Well, buckle up, because the answer will shock you. AdBlock is actually beneficial for Google. It boosts their click-through rates, conversion rates, and even ad rates. Plus, it helps them maintain their stronghold in the browser and search space. Don't believe me? Check this out. In 2017, Google even attempted to create its own AdBlock that would be built right into Chrome. So why does Google not only let AdBlock exist, but also support it? It's simple. They're not stupid. They wouldn't back something if they thought it would harm their bottom line. In fact, AdBlock is a win-win situation for both Google and its users. As crazy as it may sound, letting AdBlock run rampant is actually more beneficial for Google. So how, you may ask? Well, let me break it down for you. Chrome is the most widely used browser in the world with a whopping 60% market share across all devices. But here's the kicker. It's the only browser that's backed by an ad-based business, Google. Safari is backed by Apple, Microsoft doesn't even need consumer-based review anymore as they focus on enterprise, and Firefox is a non-profit that survives on donations from none other than Google. So if Google were to suddenly stop allowing AdBlock on Chrome, guess what would happen? AdBlock would still be available on every other browser. But Google, being the savvy business that they are, know this would be bad news for them. So what do? They make AdBlock easily accessible on Chrome, and by doing so, they're able to keep a massive segment of the market in their pocket. Smart move, right? But don't think for a second that Google would admit this. They may not publicly tell you to switch to Safari, but they might strike a deal with AdBlock to feature the app on the App Store or pay journalists to compare the browsers. All of this works to keep the 350 million AdBlock users on Chrome, ultimately helping Google maintain their monopoly. Allowing AdBlock is not only beneficial for Google, but also plays a vital role in fending off new users in the browser market. Established companies like Apple and Microsoft don't need ads to support their browsers. However, if you want to take on Chrome, you have to allow AdBlock, which is sustainable for Google with their massive revenue, but may not be sustainable for others. About 42.7% of the world uses some form of AdBlock, and forcing ads on them would be counterproductive. This is because people who have strong aversion to ads are less likely to convert, which is not great news for Google Ads' business structure. Unlike traditional media, where advertisers pay based on visibility, in the digital space, compensation is based on performance. Therefore, it doesn't cost advertisers any sort of performance. Google's pay-per-click model has been a game changer in the advertising industry. Advertisers bid on how much they're willing to pay for each click, and Google only gets paid if someone actually clicks on the ad. This means that Google's revenue is directly tied to the performance of the ads, unlike traditional media where advertisers pay based on visibility alone. This is where AdBlock comes in. People who use ad blockers are not counted as impressions, which can deflate click-through rates and pull off advertisers. However, by allowing AdBlock on Chrome, Google is not only protecting their monopoly, but they are also able to target a specific audience, those who don't want to see ads. This could potentially increase the effectiveness of the ads and offset any potential revenue loss from ad blocking. While some estimate that ad blocking could lead to billions in lost revenue for Google, these estimates may not be accurate. The performance of the ads could be affected by the increased use of ad blockers, which could mean the loss of revenue would not be as significant as predicted. In fact, ad blocking could even be a profitable move for Google if they're able to target the right audience and increase the effectiveness of their ads. Let's delve deeper into Google's stance on ad blocking, as there is more to the story than meets the eye. While Google appears to be accommodating when it comes to ad blocking, this only applies to their auxiliary revenue streams, not their core business areas. For example, Google swiftly struck a deal with AdBlock to whitelist their own ads on Google Search, as well as ads on their other platforms like Google Maps, Gmail, Flights, Booking, Shopping, and even mobile YouTube. Even if you manage to find an ad blocker that stops all these ads, Google is still able to collect data on you through other means. This means that Google is not actually yielding in their core businesses. In fact, the only area where they are conceding is in the ability to put ads on third-party websites. However, if we take a step back, we can see that this is not even a loss for Google. In reality, Google's most valuable assets are not their advertising revenues. It's no secret that Google wants to keep you on their platform for as long as possible. They want to be the go-to place for everything you need online, whether it's searching for information, shopping, or just browsing the web. That's why they've been accommodating of ad blockers to some extent, but their core businesses is still all about ads. The key is to strike the balance between revenue and user experience. One way Google does this is by blocking ads on websites that they deem to have poor ad experience. These are the types of ads that annoy users with their flashing graphics, autoplay audio, and ad wall. Even though these ads may be getting displayed through Google Ads, the company is willing to cut off their own revenue in the short term to provide a better experience and strengthen user retention over the long term. But why is user retention so important to Google? The answer lies in their number one goal: to consume as much of your attention as possible and keep you from leaving their platform for competitors like TikTok or Instagram. When you search for an article and all the ads are blocked, it's not a big deal for Google as long as you continue using their search engine and clicking on sponsored results. They want to make sure that you keep coming back to Google to search for even more information and websites, even if those sites have whitelisted ads. To further improve user experience, Google's Chrome browser also has an inbuilt ad blocker that's automatically enabled. This ensures that users aren't bombarded with annoying ads on the websites they visit, which can be a turn-off and drive them to other platforms. By providing a better user experience and keeping users on their platform, Google is betting that they'll be more profitable over the long term, even if they have to sacrifice some short-term revenue. Google has taken a savvy approach to AdBlock, avoiding the easy route of eliminating it altogether. Instead, they've used AdBlock to their advantage, protecting their market share and improving their app performance. While they do whitelist ads on most core services, Google understands that eliminating AdBlock is not the solution. The real solution is to make ads less intrusive, less annoying, and more appealing, to the point where people don't feel the need to use AdBlock at all. This is Google's ultimate goal, and they've got it right. Let's hope they stick to this approach. Do you use AdBlock? Let us know in the comments, and give us a like if you agree with Google's approach. I'll see you in the next one.